Claudia Ferenczi, the Slovakian. That was a nice, sharp right hand to end that exchange there from Timlin.
In the Timlin corner, they're asking her to step back and counter. But I think she needs to start moving to her left. She's getting caught far too often with the left-handed Skelly because she's standing too much with inside and getting caught with her foot inside of Skelly's right foot.
Got the lead off all wrong there as well, Timlin, and that allowed Skelly just to jump in on her. Yeah, again, just keep an eye on the footwork. As Andy says, Timlin's got to get that lead foot on the outside, otherwise Skelly's just going to be able to maneuver her around.
When a southpaw fights an orthodox boxer, the feet often clash, but it's so important to the lead foot. Who can have the outside will have the advantage.
Timlin with a thumping body shot to end that exchange as well, and a little reaction there from Skelly.
It's been a recurrent theme we've seen with the female boxing, that they don't mess around. They're not afraid to get in there, and they actually trade. They actually trade a lot of the times more viciously than the men do, and there's no exception here. These two are trading really hard and looking to hurt each other.
Yeah, they went at it right from that first bell. There was no feeling out, getting any rangefinders going, and Skelly certainly was looking to land the big stuff. And Timlin, I think, is certainly very respectful of this backhand from Skelly. That was better again from the youngster. She's being pushed back here by the southpaw from Liverpool. Again here, Timlin, last few seconds of the round. Well, it's so interesting that Amy Timlin pre-fight was saying the aim here is set a fast pace and wear Carly Skelly down. But it's interesting that it was Skelly that looks like she's come out and set the early tempo.
Yeah, and really just trying to land that left hand, Skelly. But when doing so, she's leaving herself open to the left hook of Timlin, so she has to be careful of that.
Well, they really do fight in flurries, these two, and it is a tough job for the judges here. I think that there's definitely accuracy issues for both of them, and there's Skelly looking for the counter. She did take a left hand that she's open to, as you said, Andy. She took one going in, but again, very busy. Marking up a little bit around the right eye here, Skelly. Yeah, she's doing a lot of feinting, Amy Timlin here, and Skelly not taking the bait.
Needs to find a way to avoid the left hand, Timlin. So far, she hasn't done that.
Again, there she is looking for that feint, and Skelly's not buying it. There's a lot more circumspect here. Nice little right hand in that exchange there from Skelly. Gets through with a couple of backhands there as well. A good little spell this for Carly Skelly.
She's picking her moments now. She's not being as gun-ho with her attacks. She's picking her moments and trying to set things up, trying to set up that left hand. Timlin should maybe try and take the initiative herself.
That was a nice right hand there. Nice counter from Timlin, and she's going to need to find some of these counters. A lovely little shot there, but Skelly's still busy. And that was a bit of quality there from Timlin. Oh, it's shaping up nicely, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, turn into a real interesting fight. Can Timlin find an answer for that left hand? Can she find a way to avoid it? Maybe she needs to be more assertive herself and try to set her pace, set her rhythm, instead of trying to be so responsive to Skelly.
It's coming back to here. Yeah, the one on the book at least.
Well, there's one of those left hooks that she takes, Skelly, from Timlin, which you've already alluded to. She is open to those. But then she's doing some work with the backhand of her own. Career is gone before you know it sometimes.
Next thing you know, you're in the commentary box.
Yeah. Wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Let him go, let him go.
Now, let's see if Skelly can continue to try and set this hot pace here, which I think has caught Timlin a little bit by surprise. Out of range there with the backhand. That was better. Absolutely no sense of a backward step here from Carly Skelly. She is just toe-to-toe trying to turn this into a bit of a brawl here.
Timlin starting to adjust, figure out the rhythm of Skelly and landing much better counters now, getting her distance, taking that little step back and giving herself room to land those punches. Good right hand from Timlin there.
Yeah. There's still plenty coming through from Skelly, but yeah, there's another one. Land followed up with the right hand as well. Skelly took a two-punch combination really well, but she doesn't want to eat too many more of those. And there's a beautiful left to the body there from Timlin, who is showing a bit of quality here in this fourth round.
Use the jab, let
The crash and bang is still coming from Carly Skelly, but the class is coming from Amy Timlin here in this fourth round.
What Skelly was doing so well in the first few rounds was that she was starting her attacks from a low position, and it was very hard for Timlin to counter. Now she's a little bit more upright, she's a little bit more predictable. This is still a real tough fight.
Let it go.
And the way these guys are exchanging, listen, it could go either way.
Yeah. This fight is knocking both of these two right out of the novice stage for good. A great combination again from Timlin. Slight concern for Timlin is that she's landed flush now and nothing seems to be bothering Skelly, who is still coming on strong at the end of that round.
A great finish to the round for Skelly, really rough her up. And there's actually, I think there was a slight clash of heads with Tit by getting it this early. So in one way it will benefit the winner hugely. And the loser can come again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think it says it all that Amy Timlin came in with a record, a combined opponent's record, 26 wins, 118 defeats, and for Skelly it was 23 wins, 84 defeats. Well, this is big league time for both of them now. They've stepped right out of that level. Again, another little nice counter from Timlin.
Yeah, she needs to feint and draw in Skelly and then hook when she does come in. The check hook, as Floyd Mayweather calls it.
Oh, that's nice.
Good exchange.
Good left hand there, but again, Skelly has absorbed it. Tough as they come, Carly Skelly. When you're working in a children's hospital and you're mother to a couple of boys, I think getting in a boxing ring's not going to bother you one little bit. She's tough.
I'm sure that's huge inspiration for her, and I'm sure she knows that they're all watching at home, and that's driving her on and probably spurring this performance on.
We're coming up to the midway point of this one. It really is settling into a fascinating contest. And again, Timlin looking to pick Skelly off. As the Liverpool woman initiates another attack. She's having success with it, but so too is Skelly. She's having success with her bursts, and there she goes again.
Boxing well, when it's at range, Timlin's really boxing well like this, but when they get to the ropes, when you get her back to her rope, she needs to kind of keep her back off those, and when she gets her back to her rope, Skelly has her way.
They really are just trying to impose a style on each other here, aren't they? And neither of them is able to completely do it. As you say, Timlin wants to just have that bearded discipline, that space. Skelly, distance rather, not discipline. Skelly wants to get up close, and neither of them can do it consistently. Which makes for a fascinating little tear-up, Wiggins.
Yeah, it's a battle of styles, and it's a battle of tactics. Skelly needs to get inside, walk her way forward, and land that left hand. Timlin needs to try and keep her distance, use her jab, use her feint to draw the leads, and then counter.
Wasting a bit here, Timlin. Not got the rangefinder sorted out here at all. And then Skelly steps in, unloads, and this is where Skelly wants to do her work. And has some success with it. Already talked about the domestic super bantamweight scene and how that's starting to buzz. Mary Romero of Spain recently became European champion. And possibly the best at world level is the unbeaten Dane Dina Torsland, WBO champion at the moment. We've got Marcela Acuna, the tough as teak Argentinian, the IBF champ. I don't think either of these two are ready to be mixing it at the world level yet. But the thing is, with the women, if you're good enough, those opportunities will come very, very early in your career. Oh, beautiful counter left again from Timlin, and again Skelly has taken it so well. Look at this. This is some assault coming back from Skelly. Another really good round, this.
This is a tough, punishing fight, and not a fight you'd see any fighter who's with a record of 4-0 and 3-0 going in against. But it's to our benefit because we're getting to witness it.
Last few seconds out of this 6th round. Another fascinating round.
No.
Oh, that's a throwdown from Timlin. Well, it's another round where they've both had some success, and they've both had things go wrong. And I'm glad I'm not scoring this one, because this is a tough one to call.
That was a tough round to split them. Could even be a 10-10 round. If anything, you'll go with Timlin, because you might have had the cleaner work.
Keep building that pressure up. You see how many times you roll this
Yeah.
landed this way? We
Just
used to
go
do
back to
that
that.
all the time. It's just,
Yeah.
when she's trying to throw, just fuck her off. Just, I was done for it. But you're doing well, really well. That's it. That's basically the only shot. What happens every time you get close?
Can't even feel it.
I know. No.
Yeah.
I'm saying here, get out here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Fascinating listening to the corners. A lot of encouragement in the Skelly corner.
Yeah, it's always encouraging. That was slightly confusing, though, because we were hearing the Skelly corner whilst looking at the Timlin corner. I was hearing that voice and thinking, Kieran Farrell doesn't sound like that. That's a proper Liverpool accent from Sid Sedanki. Round 7 then. Well, this is where Skelly, you feel, is the more comfortable. As you said, Andy, Amy Timlin looking to keep it long, looking to pick her counters. Try and bring that backhand into play a little bit more there. She tried to land it there and missed. Missed again.
We talked about lack of experience in Skelly and that she started boxing late, but she showed some real veteran moves there on the inside, holding with the blind hand and punching with the other hand.
Nice left hook coming in from Skelly. I mean, it is unusual that somebody at the age of 28 takes this sport up with no background at all.
But she must have had some promise, because she reached a national championship here in England, and she reached the final, and you know that was quite an achievement.
Nice again. Oh, she's keeping
As you can
busy.
see, she's roughing her up on the inside.
Yeah.
This will be sapping the energy of Timlin and also demoralising her. But it's now at these when they're in the centre of the ring and at distance, Timlin should be using these moments and taking advantage of them and getting her punches off. Because all of this stuff on the inside, when they're fighting and scrapping like this, it's energy sapping and it's also punishing.
Carly Skelly is pouring it on here. I think the concern for Timlin, who did land a left hook again there, but Timlin has landed flush so often and nothing has discouraged Skelly. She keeps coming forward, keeps finding scoring punches, keeping herself in it, and it's Timlin that's looking the more uncomfortable of the two here.
A huge amount of desire being shown by Carly Skelly here.
Really? Well,
that was a big round for her, in my book, because to me she'd lost.
Now I'm letting you off the hook here, Andy, but so many of these rounds have been what you like. What do you like?
Really close rounds. Personally, and it's not an official, doesn't really matter. I've got Skelly ahead by 1. But on the official scorecards, it could all be riding on this round.
Yeah. Be busy with her, but look for that right hand, you'll catch her and you'll knock her lights out, yeah?
Just looking for one shot now. Brilliant fight. Thanks, mate. Okay, so we're going to stay there, we're not going to stop punching.
No.
Up, down, turn, bang, go again. First.
Yeah.
Timlin's up early.
Watching brilliant.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Well, like you said earlier, Andy, The winner is guaranteed a good night and a big future. But I don't think there's going to be a loser here. These two have acquitted themselves brilliantly. There is still saying women's boxing, nah, they can't fight. Go watch that.
You can't argue with that. That's as competitive, as entertaining, and as skillful as any male contest you will see.
Exactly. I got Carly Skelly winning this.
The last round was so tight. So tight.
Yeah, it was.
It could be a draw. 10-round fight.
Close.
Could be a draw. But a huge effort from both women, and fantastic desire showed, skill showed, passion.
I just hope all three cards reflect that this was a really close fight, because it was. They both won rounds. What you don't want to be hearing is 99-91s, because it wasn't that kind of fight. And Timlin showed a lot of courage in adversity there as well, because there were 2 or 3 times I thought she's really feeling this, and she dug in and dug in. But Carly Skelly, as I say, came in as the big underdog, and this was some performance from her. And as you say, it all could come down to this last round.
She was always getting low. When she started her attacks low, Skelly, she had success. Timlin was never able to make the adjustment to either take a little step back or to lower herself.
Absolutely terrific little scrap, that. Really good. And it's going to go down to the cards. Somebody's going to be disappointed unless, Andy, as you say, there is an argument that it could be a draw, this one. The 3 judges ringside are Phil Edwards, Mark Lyson and Bob Williams. 3 very experienced and well-known British judges. Well, these two can forget the 4- and 6-round stuff from now on. They're big league, both of them. I don't think this is the last time we'll be seeing them on a major stage either. But who is going to be crowned Commonwealth champion? These are the worst moments, especially when you really can't be certain when you're a fighter, because you can't be certain. Neither of them can sit here saying, yeah, that's mine, I won it.
But to look at them, Skelly thinks she's won it.
Yeah.
Timlin not so sure.
Yeah. But has she, though? Has Skelly won it? Will she be taking that Commonwealth belt onto the ward at the Alderhay Children's Hospital in Liverpool? Let's find out.
Boxing fans, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the judges' score totals. Bob Williams, 96-95, Timlin. Phil Edwards, 97-96, Skelly. Judge Mark Lyson scores this bout 95-95. We have a split draw.
There you go. As called by Andy Lee. And you know what? I'm not sure we could really argue about that. It was so close.
So close, so close. Deserves a rematch.
Oh, we'll be seeing that.
I would watch that every week. Fantastic fight.
And I'll tell you what, there's no way they won't be keeping that on the main show either. If there's a rematch for this one, bring it on.
I think it was a just outcome. Skelly put in a tremendous effort, and even though it's a draw, it's a moral victory for her, I think.
Oh, definitely.
But Timlin will